The future of the Syrian crisis will be the focus of a meeting between the US, European and Arab nations opening in Tunisia today. The so-called Friends of Syria group is expected to discuss new measures to cripple the Assad regime, which they blame for the nearly year-long deadly violence in the country. Russia and China have refused to attend the meeting. Moscow says the group is biased in its attempts to settle Syria's internal conflict by ignoring the role of armed opposition groups in the violence, in which thousands have died. Meanwhile, Washington is reportedly holding talks with the UK, France, Italy and Turkey over preparations for military intervention in Syria. An Israeli website known for links to intelligence sources claims a decision will also depend on the outcome of the meeting in Tunisia and whether the US gets the support of its Arab allies. RT's Maria Fanoshina takes a look at the noose tightening around Damascus.
The meeting of the countries calling themselves Friends of Syria raised many questions before it even started. Why would around 70 Arab and Western nations gather in Tunisia has been a mystery till the last moment.
If they are real friends, they should not think about economic sanctions that really affect Syrian people in a negative way.
I hope the Arabs will play a role in mediating dialogue between the opposition and the government.
But it's become clear that none of these issues will make it on to the meeting's agenda.
Our priority is to facilitate the delivery of the humanitarian assistance. And we have some proposal on the table to prepare the best way to deliver this assistance as quick as possible.
The UN estimates about 6,000 deaths in fierce clashes between the government forces and the armed opposition, with the humanitarian situation described as a catastrophe. Allowing aid to get in and an immediate ceasefire are key points of the Friends of Syria ultimatum package. But some claim the Friends have an ulterior motive.
They don't want democracy in Syria, they don't want any reforms, they want a political price, and they want to divide Syria into different sects and to make Syria a very weak country, geopolitical position, because Syria is important, then go directly to Iran, then to Hezbollah. This is a real plan against Syria, but on behalf of democracy, on behalf of the human rights.
To force Assad to go is on the agenda of the Friends gathering too.
Russia and China will need to convince the Syrian regime to quit power, since it lost all its legitimacy, and that a political and peaceful solution of the Syrian crisis is not possible while they remain.
China and Russia, though still among the few countries in dialogue with the Assad regime, have refused to attend.
Only the opposition has been invited to participate in the Tunisian summit. None of the government representatives were invited. That means that interests of a large portion of the population will not be represented. In this case, I doubt that this conference will aid a nationwide dialogue on ways to resolve the internal crises.
A regime making war on its own people, families suffering in cities under siege, a nation brought to the brink of chaos. We cannot allow the obstruction of a few countries to stop the world community from coming to the aid of the Syrian people.
All of them want to start a war against Syria, but no one is yet ready. The only side that could do that is NATO, and even they are not ready. The Syrian National Council is not ready. They gather to unify pressure and efforts to get justification for an operation.
The meeting in Tunisia is a meeting of enemies, not friends.
Surprisingly enough, an internet search of the Friends of Syria reveals a totally different community. This website claims to reveal the truth and collects evidence of anti-government activity. Among Syria's enemies are the countries naming themselves Friends. Maria Fanoshina, RT, Damascus, Syria.